It may have been ugly off the pitch, but it's been anything but on it. Opening wins from France, Germany and Wales have brought a much needed feel-good factor to Euro 2016. Joining me again is Golf News Deputy Sports Editor Duncan Hare and Sports Reporter Ashley Hammond. So guys, the first thing I want to talk about is England's clash with Wales. Wales, the surprise winners in their opener against Slovakia, and England, well, a dominant performance, but they couldn't quite convert it into 3 points. How is that clash going to work out?
In an already high pressure match, England have put themselves under a lot more pressure. Eric Dyer's already saying this game's not going to be an international match. It's going to be like a Premier League game, England versus Wales, and it really could be. England have put themselves in a huge danger here by simply the fact that Wales have got 3 points, England have 1.
I think it's a blessing in disguise in that they've drawn the first game, because that sort of, if they had won the first game easily, they might have gone into this game complacent, and against Wales that's probably not what you want to do, because that could be the trickiest game in this group potentially. I think that's actually been a good thing that they've drawn the game. You're looking at the positives, they now know what they need to do. They need to be more clinical basically, and that could stem from a change in formation, namely bringing on Vardy. They definitely need two out-and-out strikers, because at the moment, from what I've seen, they've had too many attacking midfielders who aren't necessarily goal scorers. They're more playmakers. I felt like we had almost 6 playmakers on the pitch the other day. The strength that Wales had the other night was they've got a lot of togetherness. They've got a lot of team spirit, and it's questionable as to whether England has the same sort of spirit.
Okay guys, now moving on to Germany, and despite let's face it, a makeshift defence, they looked quite formidable in their 2-0 win over Ukraine. Next up in their fixture list is Poland. Do you think Poland are going to offer more of a threat than Ukraine did?
I wasn't impressed with Poland against Northern Ireland. I wasn't actually that impressed by Germany against Ukraine. Makeshift defence, they gave chances away to Ukraine in the first half, where they most certainly were impressive. The second half, they totally killed the game. I mean, the Germans really kept possession of the ball and then got the sucker punch at the end. I think Poland will need to step up. I think Poland can step it up against Germany. I think they'll need to as well.
I think they're anything but formidable, Germany. I think they looked beatable. They look weak. I think Poland as well, like with England and Wales, you've got a local derby with Germany and Poland. You know, the history between those two teams doesn't need to be highlighted. I think obviously it's going to be a grudge game. Poland beat them in qualifying, so they can beat them. Germany didn't look invincible by any standard, and I think Poland might raise their game for this one. I could possibly see this as being the first upset.
Okay guys, now lastly I want to quickly talk about France and their clash against Albania. France obviously won their opening game. Albania have a lot to prove, and they also desperately need those 3 points if they're to have any hope of progressing to the next stage. How much of a threat are Albania to France?
Not much. I wouldn't say.
Next to none.
Yeah, I mean, it was an impressive first game against Switzerland. Well, they sort of held their own against Switzerland, but these opening games you can't really tell much. Everyone's going to be a bit sort of shaky in the opening games. Everyone's gone in nervy. I don't think you've really seen the top quality of all teams yet, because it's just an opening game. You can't tell anything from that.
Parts of the French team looked disjointed. Elements of the defensive midfield. It was a silly penalty kick they gave away, but you saw enough of them, particularly in the final third, to think that they will be a threat in this tournament. I think it was just a nervy host nation opener. Yeah. All the games have been very tight, but they came out trumps in the end. France, I think they'll comfortably dispose of Albania.
Yeah, Dimitri Payet really took it out the bag for them, didn't he? He really saved them. But I should think now they'll be a bit more sort of composed, and really they'll get down to business, and they should do it quite easily against Albania.
They have so much quality in the final third, in the attacking areas. Final third of the pitch, they are a real force to be reckoned with.
And by the same measure, Albania will be a bit tired from that opener, because they sort of gave their all, and this is where you now start to see the smaller teams sort of break down a little bit. So I can't imagine they'll hold up much of a fight. Okay, well thank you very much, gentlemen, and we're looking forward to another week of top-class international football. As ever, you can stay up to date with the latest news, fixtures and results on golfnews.com, and don't forget to join us on Twitter at Golf News Sport using the hashtag Euro 2016.